Hello, and welcome to another episode of TM3 Life. Today we're going to be testing a product. And yes, it's a product that I purchased from Abstract Ocean. Probably no surprise to most of you. But it has to do with the cup holder. Now, the cup holders and storage in general in the Model 3 and Model Y are far above that of the Model S. However, I think there's still some things that are a little lacking, and today we're going to discuss those. Let's discuss exactly what I'm talking about. Okay, as you can see here, these are our cup holders, and they're not that deep. I mean, they're acceptable by all means. And it's not like I can't use my armrest because I have cup holders like the Model S. I can use my armrest and still have a drink and all as well. What happens if you drink from, say, a 12-ounce can? Or a coffee cup from Dunkin' Donuts, Starbucks, what have you. There are some tips and tricks on how to drink with a car like this that has so much low-end torque. Let me explain to you what I'm talking about. I take this 12-ounce can and I place it in here. That's fine. It's plenty big enough. Either side holds the can just fine. Now, when you first crack the top on a 12-ounce can, or you open up your top to your coffee in the morning, it's typical to see that the opening to your drink is on one side or the other. And what's very common is when you take a drink like this, drink up, and then you place it right back down like that because it's easier for you to get to. Here's the key thing to this. I suggest never leaving any open container that has the opening on one side facing in this direction. And this is the ergonomical way to grab your drink because you're going to drink from it. However, I've gotten in the habit of spinning the drink around and setting it back in like this. Why like this? Because you never know when you're going to have the urge to just press what I call the fun pedal in this car, and with all that torque unleashed immediately, if you have your drink face this direction, I guarantee you, if it's fairly full, it will spill. Come right out and spill all over here, all down inside the cup holder. It'll make a horrific mess. Now, if you have it like this, much less likely to spill. So this is something that I've just gotten used to when I drink in my car. This way, bad. This way, good. The new product we're going to review, however, has nothing to do with cans. Cans are short enough where this isn't a problem. But it does have to do with taller items such as water bottles. And what do you think the problem here is going to be? Yep. Doesn't take much to tip these bad boys over at all. Yes, they have caps on them, but it's extremely annoying. Okay, well, what if there's two? Let's put two in here. Okay, well, that's just twice the annoyingness. And we'll test this out on a drive so you can see exactly what happens. I'll let you know whether I'm doing hard acceleration, normal acceleration, how sharp the corner is, and all that, and you can see exactly what happens here. Now, some of you are saying, okay, well, if you have a taller drink, you can put it in the door pockets, and that's true. Again, another awesome perk of having a Model 3 or Model Y compared to a Model S. You don't have door pockets in a Model S. So, easily enough, you could drop that right in there. Fits great, and you don't have to worry about it. But right now, let's get out on the road and see what actually happens with taller drink containers in our cup holders. Here we go. Okay, let's start out on a normal drive. Normal speeds, normal accelerations, normal turns. Right there, folks, just turning out of my driveway at like 15 miles an hour. Here's a corner at 33. This is annoying and unacceptable. Once we get clear of this intersection, I'm going to do a fairly hard acceleration out of here, and we'll see what happens to the water bottles. And by fairly hard, not like tromping right on the old accelerator, just giving us some fun electrons here. Yep, so that was I got up to the speed of about 38 miles per hour, and that's what happened. Okay, so now we've seen what happens when we have two of these in the cup holders. They keep doing this, canoodling together, extremely annoying, flopping forward. They're just completely uncontrolled in the cup holders. But what happens if you don't have a passenger? What happens if you are the only one with a tall container in your cup holder? I'm in a parking lot right now, and we're going to do some small accelerations and turns, and then I'll let you know when we do some hard acceleration and turns. I'm just curious to see what happens if it's just one in here, without the other bottle there to help it, if you can call that helping. Let's give this a shot. We're going to go forward slowly and do some turns. Remember, I'm in a parking lot. I'm doing like 10 to 13 miles an hour here. That was a 10 mile per hour turn. The same 10 mile per hour turn. Mile per hour turn. Now let's do a harder acceleration turn to the left, and then we'll do one to the right. Okay, that's a hard turn to the left, as you can see. It just fell completely over. Imagine one more hard turn and this thing would have flew out like a rocket. Okay, so let's try a hard turn to the right. Okay, the cup holder held it in. And why? Well, because it's already right up against the edge of this anyway. It's only going to go so far. But again, this direction, you're going to lose it. Unacceptable. We need to see how this new product is going to help us out. Okay, the new product that we're going to review today is right here in this box. We'll take a look right after Snapple Facts. Hello, and welcome to Snapple Facts. Let me grab two caps at random. Alright, Snapple Fact number 1. The word purple does not rhyme with any other word in the English language. Okay? Then purple should be the word of the day. Alright, Snapple Fact number 2. Antarctica is the driest, coldest, windiest, and highest continent on Earth. Well, that's kind of like bragging. I mean, that's a lot of records to hold there. And to be honest with you, I did not know it was the highest continent on Earth, so that's pretty cool. So hopefully you all learned that as well. And the only unfortunate thing is that most of us, including myself, will probably never make it to Antarctica. All right. Thanks for joining us. Another little snippet of Snapple Facts. We'll talk to you next time. Welcome back from Snapple Facts. Again, I always hope you learned something. Let's take a look at the product that we have from Abstract Ocean that will hopefully solve this problem. Here it is, folks. This little device here is meant to slide right down in here. And as you can see, it's got little springs which are going to give whatever container you put in here some force, a little bit more support, if you will. Now some of you are saying, okay, but it doesn't really match the white of the console. Well, that's where these come in. Place this right on the top there, and it's going to look even more like the concept vehicle when it came out. So this little upgrade is aesthetic, but also hopefully functional, and we're going to test that out. Let me get this installed, and then we'll go for a road test. Well, folks, I've got it installed, and I gotta say, I'm not so sure I'm sold on the aesthetic part of it. It doesn't quite fill up the gaps in the ways that I hoped it would. Let's take a look. As you can see here, because of this silver trim that goes around here, the white doesn't come right up against the white. I think this should have been designed so that it overlapped the silver trim and touched right up against here and didn't sink all the way down and was level with here. That would have been awesome. But that's just one part of it, right? The other part of it is, well, does it work? Is it practical? Is it an upgrade that's really going to do the trick? Okay, here we are, folks. Water bottles are back in place. Let's just drive around slowly and see how it does. Okay, so far they still tip a little bit, but it's much more acceptable for normal driving. So what happens if we're deciding to have a little fun with the accelerator and turning at the same time? Let's try it out. Well, there's the regen, so the front and back doesn't seem to be helped much at all, right? But did you notice this didn't come flying over to this side? Let's try it again. So that's it. Okay, so I think the overall consensus is that the product does indeed help with taller containers. And again, these water bottles are really, really narrow. You know, I think this would help a lot better if it was a larger drink, you know, say, you know, a coffee. But I think these water bottles are a great test because they are really narrow. And it did indeed help with the left and right turns, even under hard acceleration. And it made it a lot less annoying. Again, aesthetically, I'm not 100% sold, but I'm going to leave it in here a little while and see what I think. If I end up keeping it or not, I'll let you guys know. But for now, let's keep those batteries charged. Till next time, folks.